Alright, you guys, welcome back to Favorites Week. Today we're tackling complexion products, foundation, powder, primer, skin enhancers, all of those things, and going over what my favorites were for the year. So if that interests you, keep on watching, but before you do, don't forget to like and subscribe. Let me know your favorite complexion products down below. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this video. Alright, let's start with primers. Feels like a good place to start as any. Good as any place to start, rather. How's that phrase go? I don't know. My brain broke. Okay. Primers. One that I use throughout the majority of the year here is the e.l.f. Liquid Poreless Putty Primer. I am not normally a fan of the old school putty primer. Like, it was okay, but it wasn't my favorite. I feel like it maybe looked a little funny some days and like maybe inflated my pores. I don't know. It wasn't my favorite. But the liquid one, I really enjoyed. Is this like the most groundbreaking, crazy, blur your skin, ultimate filter primer? No. But there's something about this very nice. It elongates makeup. It does create a nice smooth surface that's not too smooth. It's not super mattifying. It's just that kind of perfect middle ground, really nice, trusty go-to primer that's going to suit just about everybody. Like, it's not geared towards oily skin. It's not geared towards dry skin. It's just kind of a nice, universal, make your skin a little bit smoother, make your makeup last a little bit longer. And I really enjoyed it. I liked it quite a bit. And this past couple of years, I moved away from being like super into primers. I was more in the good skincare over using a primer, like a dedicated primer type of mood. But this is one of the few primers that did make its way into my rotation frequently because I thought it just did a really good job. So yeah, I like this one a lot. And this one from Shiseido kind of falls somewhere in between that little bit of a skincare, primer, SPF category. Like, it's a little bit of everything in one. This is the Shiseido Revitaliscence Skin Glow Primer with broadband SPF 20. This does have some skincare ingredients within. It gives a very soft, glowy complexion. Does help with your makeup staying on a little bit longer, and it just sits really nicely on the skin. It has SPF 25 within. That is, I think it is a chemical SPF, but it doesn't irritate my skin. I'm not allergic to it in this formulation. Maybe because it's a lower concentration of it, being only 25%. It doesn't make me itch. Most of the time, chemical SPF makes me itch, but this looks like chemical. Most of the time I'm allergic to them. This one I have zero reaction to, and it just looks really nice on the skin, and it's not like glowy in the way of like Lumi Glotion or something like that. It just gives a very soft, like hydrated look to the skin, and it offers hydration and some skincare benefit on top of it just being a really nice primer, and makeup sits so pretty over top. It's a lovely product, and yeah, I really enjoyed it this year. It's a newer addition to my collection, but since I've been using it, I really enjoyed it. I don't immediately think of this as a primer complexion product. To me, this one feels more like a skincare item, and I really enjoy that. It's somewhere, it reminds me like of using something like Vitamin Rich Face Base from Bobbi Brown. It's kind of like that in that it's more of a moisturizer skincare item, but it also has priming benefits. So yeah, this was a good one. Very much, very, very nice. Okay, skin enhancers. I have one that I want to talk about this year. And when I mean skin enhancer, I'm speaking of like Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Filter, e.l.f. Halo Glow, that kind of thing. And this year, Lumi Glotion really became my favorite go-to. I used the heck out of these. I have 3 shades. L'Oreal sent me 2 of these shades, and one of them I had purchased on my own. And I had actually been meaning to purchase the other shades and just hadn't got around to it. Girl, I love Lumi Glotion. I've been using this one for quite some time, for a long time. The shade Light. Yeah, Light. But they sent me the Fair Glow and medium glow. I found these to be such beautiful skin enhancers. You can wear them by themselves because they do offer a little bit perfecting the way Flawless Filter does, where it kind of will even your skin out just a little bit. Like, it's really good for that no makeup look, especially if you want to look glowy. These are great. And I find the glow in these to not be so overwhelming that it's like, too much. It doesn't look like highlighter painted on your face. They just look pretty and super glowy and healthy. And they're very hydrating as well. And they look really nice on the body. Like, especially if I'm going in with this deeper one. This is one that I use in the summer when I want a little bit more color. I'll take this all the way on the chest, the neck, arms, and it just kind of evens everything out. And it's really, really pretty. It kind of makes it look like I get a little bit of sun that I don't get. But yeah, I really enjoy these. These are great for mixing in your foundations. You can use them underneath your foundation. You can dab a little bit over top as a highlighter. They're very versatile in that respect, and they are really nice and hydrating, but they're not greasy. They're not going to make your skin like extra oily or anything like that. And one thing you can do with these is go ahead and apply these like all over the face and take like a blurring primer like the e.l.f. Putty Primer and apply it in the center, and you kind of get the best of both worlds. I love pairing these up with different products. They play well with everything I've used them with. They haven't had come across any issues with it with my skincare, no peeling or anything like that. They're just lovely, and they're easy to get your hands on. Love Lumi Lotion, and it was nice to be reminded of how good it was this past year, and I find myself reaching for it very consistently. I think today I'm wearing this one. I wear one almost every single day. Okay. Now let's go into foundations. We're going to start with our lightest coverage, and that is the CoverGirl Simply Ageless Skin Perfector. This is a surprising little product right here. I thought this was going to be like crazy sheer, your skin but better type of thing. I wasn't expecting much coverage from it, but there was something about it that I was just so interested in it that I had to try it. Now, it's also a little pricey at the drugstore, but everything from the Simply Ageless line is a little pricey. But point being, I was expecting this to be like a super light coverage type of product. And actually, no, it's kind of light to medium coverage. Surprising level of coverage. It wears super gracefully on the skin. It can be sheared out, built up a little bit. It has really nice skincare benefits within. I think it might have better skincare benefits than the Chanel option. It is a dupe for the Chanel, by the way. I think it might be better. I'm just saying. Just looking at the ingredient deck and the claims, I think this one's better. And it's like a quarter of the price. So yeah, I love this. Look how much I've used up. For me to have gone through that much of a product, that's saying something, because I'm very, I don't use up a ton of product because I bounce around so much between products. But this was something I really enjoyed. And it's really, really nice for just the day-to-day. It's one of those easy products to apply. You can just take it with a brush and just slap it on. You don't have to think too much. It blends out super easy. It's a very low effort type of foundation, and I loved it. I think it's beautiful. Beautiful on the skin. Next up, we have the Skin Silk from Revolution. This is one of the most beautiful foundations on the market. Drugstore, high-end, either or, doesn't matter, luxury, this has got it beat. This is a wonderful foundation. So this is a luminous serum foundation. I have it in the shade F2. It comes in a very luxurious bottle, by the way, with this little ombre situation, glass bottle, very hefty, looks really nice on the vanity. They did not skimp on this. The formulation is beautiful. It gives a wonderful creamy look to the skin. It's not super glowy or anything like that. It just looks pretty. It looks like everything that I want a foundation to look like. You can get light to medium to almost full coverage from this, depending on how you apply it. It goes on well with a sponge, with a brush. It's an easy foundation to work with. It's not one that's going to fight you. It's not going to disagree with anything. It's a very agreeable foundation. It, I think, can work for all skin types as well. It's not one that is particularly geared towards oily or dry skin. I think it's going to work fine for everyone across the board. It plays well with every powder I've put with it, every primer I've put with it, every skincare item underneath it. I've had zero complaints about this. It wears beautifully throughout the day, very nice wear time, and just looks pretty on the skin. I have it on today, and it's been on for a little while now, and I haven't really powdered much, and I think it looks super nice. It just ends up getting that very hydrated, healthy look as you wear it throughout the day. Like, I have put this through the paces at the gym, holds up great. It is my holy grail 10 out of 10 #1 foundation for the year right here. It is amazing. It has a really nice shade range also, and pretty decent price point. You can get it at Ulta. Now, two that I like for more long wear, a little bit more of a matte-ish finish, is the Face Bond from Urban Decay. This is a really, really good foundation that offers insane versatility. As far as coverage goes, you can get the lightest coverage imaginable with this, build it up to all the way to the fullest of coverage. It's very versatile. It's very thin. It's easy to work with. You can apply it with sponge, brush, fingers, however you want. It is really in this nice little squeezy tube. Really good shade range. Wear time is incredible. However, I think this is better suited towards the oilier skin types. If you're excessively dry, you're not going to love this one. It has a natural, like, I would say like a natural matte finish on the skin. Like, it's not glowy, but it's not matte either. It's somewhere in between, and you can adjust that by whatever you put underneath it. Like, if you put something like this underneath, which these two make a beautiful pairing, it can have a little more glow to it. You can put mattifying primer underneath, get a little more matte finish, depending on how much you powder it. This, I don't really have to even powder, and I am combo skin. By the way, this part of my face, my jawline, T-zone, oily. The rest of my face can be a little bit on the drier side. It's just a little bit of everything going on here, but not extreme on either side of the spectrum. That makes sense. Anyway, I find this to be a wonderful foundation for my skin type. It performs beautifully, wears incredible. I think in my wear test of it, I did wear it to the gym also. It held up great throughout the day. And yeah, I really like it. And I love the versatility of it because you can adjust the coverage and finish so much with this one. This is one of those that you can just, your ideal finish on your skin with this, like just by tweaking one little thing. It lends itself really well to customizing. It's kind of unique in that respect. Next up, speaking of versatile and kind of a unique product here, this is the Smashbox Always On Skin Balancing Foundation with hyaluronic acid and adaptogens. Now, this is one that is going to adjust itself to your skin type. If you're oily, it has ingredients within that's going to help control the oils. You're dry, it's going to help moisturize those areas that need moisture. It's really, really good if you have combo skin because it's going to be able to work with both things going on. Great for combo, works well for oily skin, great for dry skin. It has a bit more of a matte, natural finish as well. Really beautiful product. Again, the coverage level, super adjustable also, depending how you apply it. Brush, sponge, fingers, either way. It looks really pretty on the skin. Great wear time and requires a very minimal touch-ups. I love that. So these two kind of have that similar longevity and adjustability to them that is really nice and kind of a similar finish. Okay, and last foundation product is the Monica Blunder Cover. I just did a wear test on this. I don't think it's up yet. It should be coming up next week, but I have used this quite a bit on the channel so far since I've gotten it. I love this one. Again, this is one of those super versatile foundations. It doesn't have a distinct finish. It's that very natural skin-like finish. The coverage level, incredibly adjustable. You can pinpoint conceal with this. It is really unique in that respect. It is what I want those balm foundations to be like. And it is pretty much a cream foundation. It's a thick, kind of oily feeling. When you touch it like this, you think, oh, that's going to be so greasy. It's got like 7 different oils in it. How is this going to work on my skin? Take it from me, someone who has oily, oily-ish skin, combo lean and oily skin. It works great. I don't know how. I don't know what magic this is. But I wore it all day to the gym, working out on leg day, and it held up beautifully. And every day that I've worn this, I've looked in the mirror throughout the day and thought, wow, my skin looks nice. This is one of the most graceful wearing foundations. It doesn't wear away throughout the day unless you explicitly just rub it off. It touches up really easily with a bit of powder if you need to, or with it itself. If you rub some coverage off, you can easily touch up with this. And I just like the packaging. I like it's very easy to use. That's another thing I think I emphasize in the wear test is how easy it is to apply. You can apply it with your fingers. I prefer with a brush, like some kind, like a little flat brush. You just dib dab in there and you just can pat it on to build more coverage. You can buff it on to sheer it out. You can take a smaller little concealer brush and really get in there and like pinpoint conceal a blemish or a spot. Totally disappears and wears really, really well. And I think this is touted to have clean ingredients and all of that. Not 100% sure on that, but it has some really unique ingredients to me that I don't see a whole lot in foundations, and I think it performed just beautifully on my skin. I love it. It's a little pricey, but so little of it goes such a long way that I don't think it's a terrible investment either. It's around $50, but I've barely made a dent in this, and I have been using it super consistently since I got it. It's one of those foundations where you use it and the next day you're like, I want to use that one again because it looks nice. And you can use it as concealer on the under eyes, and it don't get all creasy and yucky on me anyways. I had no trouble with that, and I used it for everything. Yeah, this is top tier. This and the Revolution Skin Silk. These are like holy grail good products. These are my top tier right now. I'm very impressed. And you can tell as I've been harping here about the types of products I like. I like versatility. I like foundations that I can adjust to what I'm in the mood for that day. I don't want something that's going to dictate its finish to me. No, I'm the boss here. You're going to do what I want you to do. And I find these to lend themselves really well to that and be able to adjust to whatever my skin's doing that day. And I don't have to be like, oh, well, I'm having an oily day or I'm really dry today. I can't use that. No, all of these work no matter what's going on with my skin and whatever skincare I want to use that day or primer, whatever. These are all ones that I can go to and trust. They're not going to disappoint me. Now, jumping over towards powders, I want to kind of use a little bit of a transition product here into that, and that's a powder foundation. Never been a powder foundation girly. If you watch my Laura Geller review, you know I really don't like a lot of powder foundations. That Laura Geller one, no ma'am. No ma'am. I don't know why so many people have watched that video too, and they got some feelings about me not liking that one. I definitely hurt some feelings. Look, that was not a good foundation, and I shouldn't have to jump through hoops to make it work. To me, that's the hallmark of a bad product. If I have to do 10 steps to make it work for me, that's not a good foundation. Just saying. And what was it? The L'Oreal Age Perfect powder foundation. Horrendous. Horrendous. But this one from Bare Minerals, I love. This is such a good one. I was shocked how much I love this one. This is the Bare Pro 16-Hour Skin Perfecting Powder Foundation. This actually has a beautiful natural finish to it. It's not super matte. It's not dewy. It's somewhere in between. It has great wear time, touches up so easily, covers everything that you want to cover. You can get, again, versatile finish, versatile coverage level. You can build it up and cover little spots with it. super easily. Again, with a little brush, you can really get in there and hide something. You can apply it with a puff, a brush, however you want to apply it. So, so nice. And it comes with a really nice little sponge here also to apply. And I like the little flat edge it has, because you know what I do with that? I get right here, swoop, and clean up. This is a wonderful product. This is definitely my favorite powder foundation I've ever used, and is in my top 5 for foundations, period. I do reach for this quite a lot, especially when I'm traveling. This has been something I'm really fond of because it's easy. I can just bring a dual complexion brush from e.l.f., dust it on the face, take the little small end, build up coverage where I need it. It's been really, really useful in that respect, and I can touch up really easily and throw it in my purse. So yeah, this is really good. And on days like, say something does go wrong with your makeup and you end up messing up your foundation somehow and you need to touch it up and you're on the go, this is a really nice product to have on hand. If you can't go back in with like a liquid foundation or whatever it is you use that day, I can take this and like tidy things up. Look, I can cry, like ugly cry, then go back in with this and fix things and be good to go. Trust me, I've done it. All right, now moving over to full-on powders. So for powders, we have Lottie London Ready Set Go Under Eye Setting Powder. And I have this in the brightening pink shade. This is such a beautiful, beautiful powder. It's one of those that gives that very airbrush look. It is super mattifying, but it's very, very lightweight. Doesn't look heavy on the under eye. Really nice shade. It's not too bright pink. It's just right. And it creates a very smooth look to the under eye. And if you're wanting something that is really matte, this is a good option right here. It sits really pretty on the skin and really does help makeup last a long time. Like, this was one of those that, like, you want to lock your foundation in, lock your under eyes in anyway. This is the one. And I really like the shade of it. It's just a really pretty, nice, soft pink. It suits my skin tone really well. I can use this all over my face because I'm that pale and it works. But if you're a little bit deeper than me, this will actually do the brightening effect for you. A beautiful powder and really affordable. I think you can get this at Walmart. I'm trying to think where else. Lottie London website. But yeah, I'll list everything and link it below. This one though, oh, so good. So very good. Next up, we have the Kosas Cloud Set Powder. I have been wanting to try for some time now, and they had a little set towards the beginning of last year of the concealer and a full-size powder, and it was kind of a good deal that I really just couldn't pass up. I'm like, that's a good deal, you know? And this powder is beautiful, by the way. This one, it looks pretty on the under eyes. It looks pretty all over the face. It gives a really soft focus airbrush finish. It's not flat matte either. It's just very pretty. I think it's a baked formulation. It has that kind of domed look to it. It's smooth. It's finely milled. And they just come out with a pink shade, a light pink, which I'm very interested in. It was sold out when I placed my last Sephora order, so I'll get to it eventually. But yeah, this is a beautiful powder. It sits really well on the under eyes, all over the face. It does great. It's just one of those really good pressed powders that works for whatever you need it to work for. Like, it's a trusty, just go to. There's no specific use for it. It's just a good pressed powder. You know what I mean? And lastly, for powder, CoverGirl Simply Ageless. Y'all, this is one of the best powders. Drugstore, high-end, whatever. This is a wonderful powder. So I have it in the shade, I think translucent, which appears to be white, and it does give a brightening effect if you like take it with a like a sponge or something. Like, it does come with one. If you take it like really press on, you're going to get a little bit of a brightening effect. This does come in shades, by the way, so you do have that on the underside of it, and then a mirror. This powder, in appearance, looks like the NARS light reflecting powder. It has that same kind of light reflecting technology in it that diffuses the look of pores and fine lines on the skin. Like, it's not glowy, it's not shimmery, it's a light diffusing technology that's very unique. and it has that look, and it's formulated with hyaluronic acid. So to me, this is the perfect combination of the By Terry powder and the NARS light reflecting powder in one from the drugstore. This is a wonderful product. Like, this could compete with any high-end powder. It's beautiful, and it will literally make your pores disappear. It looks so incredibly airbrushed on the skin, and it helps elongate your makeup time without looking flat matte. It has a very pretty soft matte finish. Like, it's a gentle finish, lightly mattifying. That's how it's described. And that's truly accurate to it. It's not going to give you that flat matte finish, but it's going to allow, it allows for that kind of creamy complexion that I personally really love, where there's like a healthy look to the skin. Like, it doesn't look like you just piled a bunch of powder on. Like, it looks like your skin with your good skincare coming through, and to me, it gives a more of a natural look to your makeup when it has that kind of finish to it, to where it's not like super flat matte, because our skin is not flat matte. Our skin reflects light. It has oils. So a powder like this to me looks very natural. And lastly, let's talk about some concealers. First up, I don't have it on hand because it is in my empties, and it is at the bottom of my little empties bin, and I don't know where it is, and I don't want to stick my hand in there because usually something has spilled. But the first concealer I do want to talk about that was a favorite this year that I used completely up. Admittedly, it was a mini, but I used it up, is the Kosas concealer. I loved that one. It was so nice. Now, the shade was not the best shade for me. I could have done better on the shade. I know that. Like, it's a little bit yellow, but I think they have updated the shade range since I purchased it. So I'm very much eager to repurchase that concealer because it was very pretty on the under eye. It lasted a long time. It didn't look heavy. It didn't look cakey. It didn't crease on me. It was just a really pretty finish. Again, it's very adjustable finish. It wasn't, the coverage level was adjustable. It was very easy to use and just looked really pretty on the skin. It had that natural kind of finish to it. It wasn't flat matte either. It didn't dry out my under eyes. Like, it set really well on the under eye, and it was just beautiful and smooth looking. I loved it. Absolutely loved it, and definitely want to repurchase it in a full size in a better shade match for myself. Like, while that one wasn't the best shade match for me, it wasn't terrible either. Like, I could get away with it. I just know that now they have something that I think will match me even better in the re-release and redoing of their shade range. Next up would be the Smashbox Halo Pen. What is this called? Healthy Glow 4-in-1 Perfecting Pen. Now, I have this in a bit of a too light shade, I'll admit that, but I love this product. I use it for brightening mostly. Like, if, say for instance, like with that Kosas one, the Kosas concealer was not brightening on me, but it was beautiful, and I loved it, the formula of it. However, the shade was too close to my skin tone, a little bit yellow. I could take this and kind of brighten things up a little bit, and it worked beautifully. This is very much like the YSL Touche Éclat, but a little more coverage. And it has a little bit of a glow to it, but not shimmery, not highlighter glow. It has that kind of more light reflecting glow in the way that like the NARS stuff does. Very pretty product. It has really, really nice medium coverage level. Very brightening if you get a shade too light for you like I did. But yeah, I love this. And a lot of times my experience with these clicky type of concealers is that I tear through them really fast. This one has lasted me a really long time. And yeah, it's a beautiful formulation. It dries down and sets really well on the skin without looking flat matte. But it kind of does a little bit of a self-setting type of thing where you could get away with not like fully having to set it. It dries. And in that respect, it's kind of unique, but it's also very, very thin and very comfortable, and I don't think it emphasizes texture or anything either. I really like it, and especially in like a highlighting way for me, this one has been very useful. And this is another one that I would like to get this in just a step up, a little bit of a deeper shade, and it would work really well for me. I'm picking shades online, so you know how that goes, and I don't always have the opportunity to exchange them if it's maybe something that's sent in PR like this was. And lastly, for concealer, the NYX Pro Fix Stick in the shade light pink, or the shade pink. This is one of the nicest concealing products that I have tried in a long time. Again, this is going to go up there with the Holy Grail status. Drugstore product, super affordable, and that it's a stick is very surprising. I've tried a lot of stick found concealers in my day. A lot. Look, I'm nearly 40 years old. I've tried a lot of stick concealers. They were very popular when I was in junior high. That was about all you had. So I've got some preconceived notions about stick concealers. And let me tell you, they have come a long way. This is a beautiful, beautiful product. It blends like an absolute dream. It doesn't get cakey or weird or anything like that. The pink shade is so pretty. It is brightening on me, and it also just kind of works on me too as a concealer because I am pale and pink. I am uncooked chicken. And this shade works really well on me. I will definitely be repurchasing it. It has a very soft texture. It blends easily and has a very smooth, non-greasy type of feel. Very unique and very just satisfying. And yeah, blends beautifully. Absolutely just chef's kiss type of product. Love it. So again, something else is going to be like totally like Holy Grail, top tier, top shelf type of product is this from NYX. I loved it. So yeah, this was a year of finding amazing complexion products and just falling in love with them and really just wanting to use them constantly. And having to force myself to use other products so I can pan them. Anyway, let me know your favorite complexion products down below. Did you use any of these? Did you like any of these throughout the year? And are there any upcoming new complexion launches that you've seen that you're excited about? I did see Maybelline has a new stick that looks interesting. I might have to investigate. But yeah, let me know your thoughts down below. I will see you guys in the next one. Stay safe. Bye now.